The Huffington Post is reporting on an absolutely stunning new study that shows that our trust in media and Congress is at an all-time low. That's hard to do. I mean, we've given numbers before about Congress and how much people hate Congress, and I'm pretty sure we've given numbers before about the media as well, and it's always low. I mean, it's always rock bottom, but now we're at all-time lows. So they say the following: only 6% of people say they have a great deal of confidence in the press. 6%. The study mirrors past reports that found the public's trust in mass media has reached historic lows, according to data gathered by the Media Insight Project. The report found faith in the press was just slightly higher than the 4% of people who said they trusted Congress. 85% of people say accuracy is extremely important in media. Timeliness and clarity followed closely with 76% and 72%, respectively, saying those attributes were imperative among media sources. Okay, so that last bit is important because that's telling you what people don't think mainstream media has. So 85% say all I care about is accuracy. Just give me accuracy when it comes to media reporting. Well, if you only trust them, only 6% of people say they have a great deal of confidence in the press. Well, then, you can deduce from that, oh, you guys aren't accurate in your reporting. They don't think mainstream media is anywhere near accurate. They don't think that they have timeliness and clarity either. Those are the other two most important things, according to the American people, when it comes to what they expect out of the media. And with a 6% approval rating, they have none of it. None of it. So how could this have happened? I mean, is the question. That's the only logical follow-up here. Well, honestly, guys, I think it goes back to stuff that we've been talking about for a really long time on the show. There are different biases all across the mainstream media. So, for example, when you talk about MSNBC, they have a Democratic Party bias. Understand, guys, that's not the same as a liberal bias or a progressive bias or, an actual philosophical position on the spectrum that they stand by and they argue for and stuff like that. No, it's a Democratic Party bias, a loyalist bias to the Democratic Party establishment. That's different. So that's MSNBC. Then you have Fox News, the Republican Party arm of the media. It's a propaganda arm of the Republican Party. They're massively biased in favor of that party. Again, not biased towards conservatism or libertarianism or anything like that, biased towards the party, the establishment. Then you have CNN, then you have, all the nightly news programs on NBC, on CBS, on ABC, you name it. And I would argue that they have a bias towards neutrality, and they have a bias towards the establishment. So that manifests itself in calling everything down the middle, even when the truth is not down the middle. So you'll have them say, Republicans have taken this position on this political issue, Democrats have taken that position on this political issue, and let's move on to the next topic, and you guys can make up your own mind as to what you think is right, what you think is wrong. It's a matter of opinion. Whatever you like more, you pick. If you're right-leaning, okay, you agree with them. If you're left-leaning, okay, you agree with them. That's it. Now let's move on. And there's also another bias when it comes to the neutrality-biased outlets. It's a sensationalism bias, which is the idea that you might want to sprinkle in some stories about Kim Kardashian's ass or Kanye West or something that'll get eyeballs in the middle of your supposedly serious news because you care more about ratings and you care more about sensationalism. Is one of the main reasons why CNN abuses that breaking news banner, is because they know that they have internal research that shows that when they use the breaking news banner, they're more likely to get eyeballs on the screen. So they abuse the fuck out of it. They've done before, we covered it on the show. Breaking news, the Titanic sank 102 years ago today. That would be the opposite of breaking news. The polar opposite. But they don't care. So the American people, they might not be able to voice this exactly how I'm voicing it and explain in detail all the different problems, but they get that gut feeling of, I don't trust these motherfuckers, man. And then we haven't even gotten into one of the saddest things, which is the mainstream media persona. You know, you turn on any of the shows, and you'll see a certain rhythm in how they talk, a certain cadence, a certain inflection over the words, a certain posture, a certain professionalism about them. You know, Chris Cuomo comes to mind, for example, on CNN. He talks in that anchorly way, where you know that if he's at his mom's house on Christmas or whatever, he's not going to talk like that. His mom will be like, why the fuck are you talking to me in that voice? That voice doesn't make any sense. That's not how you talk. He would just be a normal guy in real life. Oh, I want a sandwich. Let me go make myself a sandwich. That's a normal person. On TV, oh, now let me tell you something in my weird announcer voice. People look at that. Guys, that is the epitome of fake. That's quintessential fakeness. You're not being yourself in front of the camera. So people look at that. You put all these things together and they go, oh, these guys, truth doesn't even come into consideration for any of these outlets. Now understand, I think that print outlets are totally different, and print outlets do a great job. That's where we get all the information for this show from, various print outlets. So I'm not lumping them in when I talk about the mainstream media here. But in terms of, you know, cable news, TV news, the outlets that we already laid out here, none of them care about truth. None of them care about facts. None of them care about objectivity. All they care about is neutrality, which is not objectivity. Neutrality, again, means calling it 50-50 no matter what. Objectivity is, I'm going to tell you the truth, no matter how black and white it may be, no matter how partisan it may seem, facts are facts. So climate change is real, Republicans are wrong, Democrats are right. You're not going to hear that on a place like CNN. Why? Because they have to debate it. Bring on Bill Nye the Science Guy and bring on Marsha Blackburn, a Republican congresswoman who doesn't know anything about science, and you guys debate science as if it's a 50-50 proposition. It's not. Like debating creationism and evolution. Let's discuss that. We have the answer already. For fuck's sake, tell us the truth. But they won't do it, and that's why 6% of people say the media does a good job. 6%? That's so incredibly small. And then also, you have Congress, 4% approval rating. Again, we've discussed this before, but how is it even possible that we vote for these people? And then if you do a poll a month after people voted for them, it's still like 12% approval rating, 14% approval rating. Right now it's at 4%. How does that happen? Well, it happens because it's almost like everybody knows when they go to vote, we're voting for the lesser of two evils, which is still fucking evil. So even if we like the person more than the other person, we're still going to give you bad ratings because we already know you're going to do a shitty job. It's clear to us. And guess what? The American people are right. Because the real problem is money in politics, the corruption in the system, the legalized bribery that we have. So even when we vote for the people that we want to win, and even when they get in office, we know it's like, all right, now time to watch them turn around, turn their back on all the promises they made, turn their back on their base, their principles, their values, and everything, the American people, and just do the bidding of the donors. We expect that at this point. That's why only 4% of people, 4%, guys, that's more unpopular than, you know, the British Crown was when we decided that we were going to have a revolution against them. Isn't that insane? We have our own government that we pick, and we're like, no, the British Crown was actually better. So that shows you how deep the rot goes in the system. You have to get the money out of the system. If you don't do that, we're going to perpetually have low ratings, and the highest it'll get is 20% for Congress. Believe you me. And for the media, look, we're trying to have a media revolution right now. That's what new media is about. That's what the print outlets are trying to do. And guess what? If their numbers stay this low in the long run, which they will, their time is running out because we're a lion roaring up from behind them.